and to this day, they still try and do that. But of course, you can only do it once. So yes, that is our Magnificent Seven. I think that finishes everything off. Matt, what was interesting about going through all this was just the amount of sheer debuts that seemed to happen on Survivor Series. There was a hell of a lot of them when I was going through and trying to read other things. But before we get to that, is there any honourable mentions that you have that were going in and out that you might have had on there?
Nothing probably anybody would want to actually remember, because there's a few wacky, zany moments, isn't there? There's always like those kind of things. I remember, it might have been the time when Diesel first started realising what he was to Shawn Michaels, and he sort of turned on him, because he got the super kick, and he got really annoyed. And then that was when people were like, yes, finally the moment has come. And then there was the times as well when Roman Reigns was cool, and sort of, I think it might have been 2013, and his whole team got eliminated, but he ended up winning the match like single-handedly, pretty much, eliminating one after the other. But there's just a few moments like that that stick in my mind.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, here's one that was going to go in, and that was the moment that Stone Cold Steve Austin fought Bret Hart in Madison Square Garden, 1996. I really loved that match. People always talk about the 97 WrestleMania match, which was really good, but honestly, the Madison Square Garden match was the first time they hooked up, and the animosity that they already had was growing, and it made their feud kick off. Really, it was like a really good program. It was like where today we get this best of seven malarkey. Well, you would have loved the best of seven between Bret and Austin. You would have begged for it. But it was just so good. That was almost getting in there. Also, the moment that Triple H would have the street fight in 2000 with Mankind, Mick Foley, Cactus Jack, whoever he was then, in the street fight. That really hit home with me. Just the amount that Foley took during that. He'd had... sorry, what am I talking about? That's the Royal Rumble.
I was thinking that. I have
no idea why I even brought that up. That would have been terrible if I'd had that in my list, that's for sure. I wonder what the hell was going on about it. I was like, hang on. We're not at the Rumble yet, John. Goodness me. Forget that one, everybody. God dear, I'll never live that down, I don't think. How about this, Matt? Bob Backlund defeating Bret.
Oh,
my goodness, I saw that one today and I was like, geez, I forgot about that. I couldn't believe it. That all happened and the way that went down.
And actually, you're bringing back some other memories now, like betrayals, like Paul Heyman betrays Brock Lesnar.
Yes, yeah, of course. And that is another moment as well, of course, which was a huge moment because everybody was wondering, could he F5 the Big Show? And for the first time, we saw it live in Madison Square Garden where he did it. And trust me, that was a huge moment because that was going up everywhere, that video, after he pulled that off. I know he'd done it about 1,000 times after, but the first is always the one. And the whole story to that was contemplating he couldn't F5 him, and what if he couldn't do it, what else would he have in him? And that whole screw job kind of thing with Heyman just pulled off even better. Because you got him doing that, but then at the same time he lost the title, which was just a nightmare. How about Cena and The Rock tag team? Against Miz and R-Truth of all people. That went well.
Back in the day.
Yeah, definitely.
What was it? There was a buried alive match once, wasn't there? Undertaker.
Of course.
Man, wasn't it?
Yeah, and Kane would come out and bury his brother.
Yeah.
Which, of course, another Survivor Series moment for The Undertaker, because that would bring him back at WrestleMania 20 as the Dead Man, which was definitely there. I mean, I think what we have to say, Matt, is The Undertaker is probably the Mr. Survivor Series when we look back on it, without a doubt. For sure. Like, he's done well. And the amount of debuts, Matt had one in his list, which of course was the Shield. How about this, Matt? The Gobbledygooker.
Oh yeah, who could forget him? He still appears on the Edge and Christian show.
Yeah, he's doing better than some of the others. The Elimination Chamber, of course, made its debut there. Shouldn't remember that. Not just wrestlers. The Rock, of course, Rocky Maivia, who it didn't go down too well at the beginning in Madison Square Garden, did he? That's for sure. The way he came out, slight Roman Reigns in him. Then I think. How about Scott Steiner, who also made his debut at Survivor Series 2002 of all times, getting there.
Oh, and that was forgettable.
Yeah. And how about a women's wrestler called Jazz, who also made a debut at Survivor Series as well.
Yeah. Debut, isn't it, really? Are we going to get any at this Survivor Series is the question then?
Oh, yeah. Ahmad Johnson made his debut at Survivor Series. Of course, we spoke about Sting, of course. Finally getting to WWE after, all that time from WCW and then, of course, TNA. We just never thought it was going to, pan out. Here's a really good one, though, Matt, is Kurt Angle, who debuted wrestling at Survivor Series as well in 1999. Which was, of course, it was up against, of all people, Sean Stasiak. So you remember him. And of course, definitely had a lot of good talent debuting, and of course, the ultimate one, of course, probably being The Undertaker. So they've had their fair share, and like Matt said, maybe we'll see somebody making their debut. Maybe an NXT guy could pan out and do something on Survivor Series. Maybe have their moment. Who knows? For anybody's theories for this Sunday, again, drop us an email at the Wrestling Skull Podcast at gmail.com. Be interested to hear what you guys think. If there is going to be one of those moments, what's it going to be? Because myself and Matt are going to be going through the entire weekend of wrestling. Not only is there, not only have we got Survivor Series, we've got NXT TakeOver. And myself, Matt, are off to Ring of Honor as well, Matt. And we're going to see a lot of good stuff going on there. But we're going to basically have an entire huge preview show going out this weekend that will drop Saturday morning UK time, and you guys will be able to listen to it whenever you want in your own time to get you in the mood for what is going to be a great weekend, I think, of wrestling up in Canada for sure. I think that concludes our Magnificent Seven all round, Matt. I think we definitely hit the same spots, but then as far as the top tier goes, Matt, I think we were totally different.
Yeah.
For sure. Very, very different endings. Normally, myself and Matt, we do pick a lot of the same stuff, but it's not normally that far off. Let's put it that way, to the point where we haven't even got the top one. I think it's probably the first time, Matt, that our top one has not been in the others. I would imagine. Yeah. I think that's probably.
Yeah, I think that was just like a difference in opinion on how we viewed it, though, wasn't it? Really, I mean, I do agree. It's a very memorable moment, and one of the greatest probably reveals in wrestling. What's really happening behind the scenes. But I just didn't get that actually enjoyment from it. I couldn't actually put it on the list because personally, for me, I didn't enjoy it as an entertainment kind of thing. It was more of a different kind of feeling behind that one.
Angry one. That's what I was feeling. So, guys, yes, we're going to wrap things up for this episode of the Wrestling Skull Podcast, Magnificent 7. And like I said, we've got a busy weekend coming up. We've got a lot of wrestling coming up. And don't forget, preview and then the review coming next Monday. We're going to be back with, 3 lots, Matt. So we're going to be really busy in all that for sure. Going through all the matches. Not only of Survivor Series, but NXT, and of course we'll be talking about our Ring of Honor experience, which I'm really looking forward to going to see. First time of seeing Ring of Honor, Matt, in fact, was it? Did you put Jay Lethal? Was he in your? He was in your sort of wrestlers of the year, I believe, of last year, wasn't
he? He was in that list. I'll be glad to see him live in person because he's one of those ones that I was kind of worried that I might not get to. I mean, I was hoping WWE might have picked him up, but if they're not going to, then I've got to go to Ring of Honor to see him.
Yep, so we'll be seeing him live. Really looking forward to seeing that. And like I say, folks, pick us up this weekend. You're going to have the full preview. Until then, have a great week, and we'll be back this weekend.